Do you find yourself out at dinner with friends and everybody's ordering away and it feels like you're the only one worrying about the bill? Or maybe you're okay spending little amounts, but that big splurge just for you, it just doesn't feel right. And I just want to read you some of the things that people have literally told me over time whenever we've talked about this. I feel bad for planning to spend money on just makeup and look after myself. Or I happily invest most of my money in the stock market, but I'm too afraid to spend any cash on myself. I've been frugal for years and I've only just started to realize what a major problem this is and what a strange and unhealthy relationship I have with money. Or I feel like I don't deserve it because I've had a bad experience with money in the past. And even though I'm financially okay now, I'm still too afraid to spend. Or another one that I could so relate to myself was I'm afraid to buy that designer handbag that I've been saving for and wanting forever. But meanwhile, I've bought like 6 other bags to replace it and have probably spent more money in the process. You know, people always saving for the next thing and afraid to spend money and not really knowing why. So I'd like you to take a moment and kind of think, what's a really good example of this money guilt complex for you? And let me know in the comments below. At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you my very favorite hack for helping liberate you from that money guilt really, really quickly and allow you to step into embodying an abundant feeling version of you. So where did all this weird fear come from? Well, this is where we need to talk about the power of stories, because stories are incredibly powerful. And stories is how humankind has been passing on information since the dawn of the ages. But I want you to ask yourself, do you remember some of the stupid stories your parents told you as a kid, usually to make you do what you didn't want to do? All these crazy stories. And I noticed a lot of them were about our eyes, like reading in the dark is bad for your eyes. Sitting too close to the TV is bad for your eyes. If you don't eat your carrots, it's bad for your eyes. If you cross your eyes, they might get stuck like that. And if you keep your eyes open while sneezing, your eyeballs might pop out. Like really a disproportionate level of concern for the welfare of our eyes, I think. And there's so many more. And if you can think of some more, let me know in the comments below. I also thought of, cracking your knuckles will give you arthritis. Swallowed gum will take 7 years to digest. If you swim after eating, you're going to drown. If that was true, I would have drowned many times over by now. Swallowing watermelon seeds will make a watermelon grow in your stomach. And of course, everybody's favorite, Santa knows if you've been naughty or nice. So you'll notice there's a little bit of a theme here. They're all about trying to control us, right? Putting fear into us, instilling fear in an attempt to control us. And as children, we tended to believe those stories and fall in line. But as we grew up, we realized they were just stories and they weren't true. But I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, if I still believe that story, all those old stories I was told as a kid, what would my life be like now? How much would it restrict my level of enjoyment and what I allow myself to do in life? So stories are powerful, they're hypnotic. And stories are, how information has been passed on through the ages. And what's even more powerful is often those unconscious stories, which we get from hearing things, from seeing things. If we see our parents really stressed out and worried about money, if we see our parents constantly worn down and tired from having to work too hard, we tell ourselves a story and we start to believe it. So I grew up in Germany and, we already had all these children's stories and fairy tales that were horrific and frightening. And maybe you're familiar with some of those as well. And then on top of that, you get the stories that your parents tell you to try and control you and basically frighten you into compliance. And then you get the stories that are those unconscious stories where it's really your parents' experience or your perception of their experience that becomes a story. So in amongst all of that, your job is to make sense of what's true and what's not true, what's resourceful and what's not resourceful, what's going to help you in life and what's going to hinder you and hold you back. Because just because your parents told you there were monsters under the bed, are you going to allow that to ruin your sleep for the rest of your life? And, as we start to recognize these stories that our parents told us, I think it's really important to actually bring a sense of compassion, because our parents just told us stories in an attempt to try and keep us safe, or they passed on stories that they were told that they believed or that was their experience. And so they meant well, and they were kind of trapped in these stories. and did the best they could and inadvertently passed on a whole lot of stories that really aren't serving you. So when you recognize that your parents did their best and, it was just their story, then you can liberate yourself and decide that you want to tell a new story. So you want to take a few minutes now and actually look at some of the money stories specifically that your parents told you or that you witnessed as a child that you might have taken on based on what you saw or what you heard. What did you observe your parents do? How did you hear your parents talk about money? And what did they tell you about money? And I can tell you lots of things that my parents told me about money. Do you think we're rich? Money doesn't grow on trees. You've got to have money to make money. Must be nice for rich people. And I wonder what they did to get that. And I bet as you look at some of those things that your parents said to you about money, you'll recognize their own fear, their own guilt. Maybe they told you not to be too greedy because when you asked for something, it triggered their own fear and lack mentality. And they felt bad not being able to supply it. So they just wanted to kind of make you stop asking for things. And by telling you not to be greedy, that was their way of coping. So this is where compassion and forgiveness is a really healing thing that not only heals your old money stories, but also heals theirs. Psst, are you enjoying this video so far? Let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel because I'm all about making money fun and easy for you so you can attract more in and really make it work for you. Let's continue. Okay, I hate to be a little bit of a party pooper, but there is more to it than just the guilt around money, because all of these old stories, in addition to making you feel really crap about spending money and stopping you from spending money, they actually also block abundance from flowing to you. They literally block money from flowing to you because you will unconsciously block money from flowing because you've been told all these things. Money's bad, it's not okay to want more. Don't be greedy, all this stuff. But the thing is that money is a flow. And if you're scared to spend it, you're not letting it flow out, which doesn't allow more to flow in. Just like when you block the end of a hose, no more can come in from the inlet until you release the outlet and allow the flow to continue. So all these money stories don't just make you feel bad and stop you from spending money that you'd really like to spend. They also block the flow of abundance, which means that you're experiencing a lot less abundance in your life, a lot less money, a lot less financial freedom than you could without them. So it actually means you need to kind of get comfortable spending a bit of money and expanding that comfort zone in order to allow more money to flow in. And you can do that with little tiny token gestures. Like when you go shopping next time, don't compare which toilet paper is cheaper by the sheet. Just buy the one you want and go to the deli counter and buy the cheese you like, not the one that's on sale. All these little token gestures make a huge difference because they actually disrupt that neural pathway that's been firing over and over and over again with the old pattern fitting the old story, and they start to help you create a new story and really expand your comfort zone around abundance and challenge those old stories, which allows them to start breaking down. This is a muscle that you get to exercise. And so a really great place to start is to decide, what do you want your new story to be? If you were telling a story about money and abundance and their ability to your child, what would you want to say to them? What story would you want to gift them to take forward with them through life? Well, gift yourself that same story. Tell yourself a story that's going to empower you, that's going to allow you to open to all the possibilities and feel abundant right here, right now. You can choose your own story and you can tell it any way you like. So spend some time sitting down, thinking about, what do I actually want to believe about money? And what do I want to take forward in life with me that's going to empower and serve me really well? So here's my quick little hack for you that will help wire in that new story a whole lot faster. And that is to look for evidence of where that story and elements of that story are already showing up in your life. So look for the evidence of what you wrote down, of what you choose now to believe and carry forward with you. And the more you look, the more you'll find. And that will help reinforce that new story and allow your conscious mind and your unconscious mind to kind of catch up and get with the program on the new story that we're now moving forward with. Now, of course, you do want to save money so you can achieve your financial goals and create financial stability, right? But you want to do it without feeling guilty. So it's important to know how to find the happy balance between an abundance mindset and a poverty mindset. You want to be thrifty, but you want it to feel great and empowering. And you want to feel good about spending money on yourself when you choose to. And that's what this episode here is all about. So go check that out next, because in it, I also do a little show and tell and share some of my favorite bargain buys with you. So click on that one next, and I'll see you over there.